we go. All right. I'm on time tonight. Let me get this Gatorade out the camera, man. Unless I'm getting paid. Can't be throwing out no free promo like that. We on time tonight. Been late for the last 2 times, but we on time tonight. So I'm kind of proud. I gotta pat myself on the back, man. I prepped a little bit. I got me a little cardio in. Got my notes down. Got my sources down. So it ain't no information scattered everywhere trying to track it down in the middle of the show, in the middle of the episode. Got my sources ready. Got all that ready, man. But definitely welcome in. I appreciate everybody that always taps in and chooses to listen to this late night yap session. 10:20 is, I don't know what time it is for a lot of people, but I'm on the East Coast. So 10:20 is typically late for a lot of people. But a lot of things go down in the evening. And so I can't really go live early because you got Candace. I know she ain't go live today, but you got Candace. Then you got Baron right after that. And then all the other podcasters and people like myself choose to get in there. We try to get in where we fit in. So it's hard to go during Candace. She's the queen. But then Baron follows right up after that. That's tough. So we trying to figure something out. Tuesdays are doing pretty good because I know Baron don't go on Tuesdays. Candace don't go on the weekends. So we trying to figure something out. Mark, what's going on? I appreciate you, Mark, for joining. Mark is definitely part of the Yapper community for sure. Part of Yap Nation. I also talked to Black Line Brief. Black Line Brief reached out, and I am sorry, bro. I am so busy running around chasing a 3-year-old that I take forever to respond. So we are connecting, Matt and myself. We will be chopping it up very, very soon. Open discussion on everything that's going on surrounding this Charlie Kirk investigation. And so, yeah, we're working on the details. I think he lives in, he's on Pacific time. So that's super tough. However, we will figure something out. So great individual based off of what I've seen in his content. I can't wait to collab with Matt. And we're going to make something shake very soon. So Matt, if you are watching, my apologies on the late DMs, the late responses. I'll be chasing the kid around all day, trying to manage all of these different platforms. So I definitely gonna take the blame because he responded with some times and stuff, but I completely forgot and didn't get back to it. But please stay tuned. Me and Matt, Black Line Brief, if y'all don't know, we'll be collabing. I do want to show his page real quick because a lot of y'all actually put me on to Matt. I had no idea who he was. And then somebody was like, man, you should go listen to Black Line Brief. The Black Line Brief, he drops fire episodes. Y'all will get along. Y'all are similar and all that stuff. And then when I clicked on his profile, I immediately subbed. Right? Like, I love his content. It's really good. So let me show y'all his page really quick, just for anybody that wants to go check him out. Black Line Brief right here. He's live at the moment. So great guy. You can see him right here. His
body couldn't fit in the car because he's so big. And now he's saying, and we laugh about him being in the back of the car, dying or dead.
I love his energy. So please go sub because we will be collabing soon, me and Matt. And I appreciate everybody for connecting us. But we got a lot to talk about today. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the sub button if you are new to the channel. We on the road to 21K, and I appreciate all the support along the way. We have been on a great journey, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I just told y'all already with my life updates. I had vacation last week. That's why I was gone. Moving to the new house in less than a month. So my whole setup gonna be different. Got my own room, got my own office, my first kind of like man cave. So leveling up, get to finally have what I want on the walls and my own little thing. Lighting will be better, probably better camera, all of that good stuff. So that's all on the way, and that is truly thanks to all supporters on across all platforms. Because YouTube is the most recent created platform, I guess you want to say. I've been on YouTube since 2020. So a lot of people ask, like, where did the 20,000 subs come from the get-go? It was around like 17, 18 thousand, because I started in 2020. I was doing some other content. I was doing a lot of basketball content for the ones that don't know. You know, I can hoop a little bit. And then it grew from there. And then I shut down the channel because we had some career changes and stuff like that. So I didn't I just deactivated. I didn't delete the channel. So I already had like 17 or so thousand subs. But since starting in 2026, we've already grown 3,000. So I appreciate all of that. That's the only way I'm able to keep all of this going, move into a new place, all that stuff, all the platforms, YouTube, TikTok. It's just beautiful. I definitely appreciate all the support. I cannot thank everybody enough. From Missouri, what's going on? They are siblings side by side. Comparison is proof. Erika and JD Vance is, man, it is scary how much they look alike. But we have a lot to talk about today. We're actually going to talk about those two, obviously. We're going to talk about Erika Kirk's speech with her count it all joy saying. She typically ends up saying some weird things in her sermons that go viral because people typically, you know, haven't heard it before. And it's just kind of strange. But, you know, her count it all joy saying is going absolutely viral. And so we're going to talk about that, break down her speech, because she says some interesting things in it besides count it all joy. She had a lot of different comments on that. We're also going to get into the Erika Kirk and JD Vance part 2 reunion, shall we? We might as well call it that, because for some reason, I'm guessing she's safe now. The threats went away and they're going to reunite again. And they're doing a JD Vance and Erika Kirk part 2 at Iowa State, I believe. Iowa State University, somewhere in Iowa. I believe it said Iowa State. So that is very interesting, because it quite literally is the same thing that was going to happen in Georgia, but she canceled it due to threats, whatever you want to call it, right? Fake threats. Because she said people were tracking her travel. A public figure that announced where her event is and the time. And she said people were tracking her travel, even though she was already in Georgia. That's the crazy part. She's already in Georgia. So that's that. She's already lying. But then when you go into the details of her lie, it doesn't even make any sense. You announced the event of where you're going to be at. That's not, of course, everybody's going to know what time you land. I don't know. But apparently all of that went away, even though there's been no arrest for the threats that were out against her life. There's been no investigation by Cash Patel and the FBI. But she's going to set up another event with JD Vance, and I think in about a week. So people are going to know she's going to be there, know what time, know she's going to travel. Literally the same situation. So we're going to talk about that. That's very, very interesting. She can't ever be normal. I know she's she's fighting. She's fighting like her inner, you know, I don't like calling people like demons and stuff. It's very, you know, strong, but she's fighting something evil inside of her. Because when she tries to be normal, she's jittering. She's jittering like an exorcism. She cannot be normal for nothing. Anytime she tries to be normal, her eyes go crazy. Or she like gives you the look. Like it's crazy. She can't control it. Baylor event got canceled. I saw that. We might hit on that today because I didn't really get to research too much about it. So I don't want to, you know, spread any misinformation. So yeah, we're going to get into all of those things. But we shall start off with Erica's speech on the Faith tour. I forgot exactly what it's called. Something about faith. You know, Candace calls it like Operation Mocking Pastor, because all of these people are, I guess, preachers. These people are coming out of nowhere. I just seen a clip of Graham Allen on stage having a full sermon. When did these people become preachers? It's one thing, bro. Chill, chill, just chill. My dog been scratching himself to the point where he just be tweaking. But when did these people become pastors and people that, like, you have a crowd that should listen to these people and be, influenced, whatever it is? When I seen Graham Allen on stage saying what he was saying, and you got Frank Turek, you got Erika Kirk, obviously, I'm like, look, listen, everybody can't be a pastor. That's not some type of side job. It's not a hobby. You have to have a calling, right? That's just not something everybody can do. But that's what the TPUSA Faith, TPUSA Faith. Is that what they call it? Turning Point Faith. Let's just say Turning Point Faith. That's what Turning Point Faith is essentially doing. All of a sudden, everybody is qualified to preach. So it was very interesting. We're gonna get into Erica's speech. I don't really care about Graham, Frank Turek. We already know those are characters in this story, but I'm not going to give them too much attention tonight. I will give Graham a little attention at the very end because he lied about some big things, but not for this segment. So let's get into Erica's speech with TPU Turning Point Faith. She says she had an interesting sermon, I guess you want to call it, since she's qualified to be a preacher all of a sudden. But she talks about some very interesting things. I want y'all to really pay attention to her body language. Pay attention to how many times she looks at her script, because that's essentially what it is. How many times she looks down at her iPad. How many times she says certain things to get a reaction out of the audience, but nothing really happens. This is just not natural to her at all. And I know I'm biased. I know I don't like the woman. I don't at all. I really don't like the woman. However, I'm able to turn my biased brain off to keep it real or keep it a buck and have a solid opinion about something without throwing bias in there. And she's just not naturally good at public speaking. That's just what it is. And I want y'all to listen to a couple of these different clips of her Count It With Joy. Count It. Is that what it is? Count It All Joy? Count It All Joy. I want y'all to listen to some of these. I have a couple of different clips, but let's listen to this first one of this Count It All Joy with Miss Shalami herself. Let me get it pulled up real quick. There you go. I am on X now, so please go hit the follow button over on X. I'm still getting used to it. It's very toxic over there. I kind of like it, but go follow me over there. All right, let's see what you're talking about, Miss Shalami. Let's get it.
In our kitchen area, I got the kids to bed and I was eating cereal. It was like 10 o'clock at night. That's a mom dinner, cereal at 10 p.m. And I was like basically standing there in the dark. And I looked over to the side of the wall. And when we first moved into that, we live in a small condo. When we first moved in there, Charlie and I put the Bible verse of James chapter 1, verses 2-4 alongside of it. And I stood there and I looked at it, and I was milk and cereal in my mouth, and I was like, count it all joy. And I just stood there. Count it all joy. Being persecuted and lied about.
Y'all know how y'all know when pastors get to that one part of the sermon, it's kind of like the climax in a way, where they find that to take it up a notch, and then they hit kind of that same point over and over and over again to kind of get the crowd going, get the congregation, maybe if you want to call it that, get them going. Look at how awkward it is when she tries to do it.
Count it all joy. Being persecuted and lied about, count it all joy. You're being slandered, count it all joy. You're being lied about, count it all joy. Your church is being persecuted, count it all joy. If there's graffiti all over it now, count it all joy. You have people coming in and out of your congregation, count it all joy. Count it all joy.
What? There's graffiti all over it, count it all joy. Lady, what is you talking about? It's graffiti on the church walls? What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying. She's just not naturally good at this type of stuff. Count it all joy. If there's graffiti in the bathroom, count it all joy. What? I tried to take you serious for a minute. What just happened? What are you talking about? You gotta listen to this. I mean, the climax again. I don't know what they want to call it in the preacher world, because a lot of preachers do it. Let's please not act naive to it. A lot of preachers hit that one part of their sermon and then they go in, and they start getting, you know what I mean? They going, and the congregation gets hype off of that. Like, we just gonna be real. That's just how it be sometimes. But when she does it, it's so awkward. It's so weird. And please don't talk about how red my eye is. I told y'all already. I got mad allergies, and that is one of my 2 symptoms: is a bloodshot one left eye, bloodshot red eye, and I go into a sneeze frenzy. Sneezing hasn't happened yet, but that's what it is. So don't be trying to clown me about my eye, because y'all tried to do that last time. Back to Miss Shalami. Stop talking about me.
Just stood there. Count it all joy. Being persecuted and lied about, count it all joy. You're being slandered, count it all joy. You're being lied about, count it all joy. Your church is being persecuted, count it all joy. If there's graffiti all over it now, count it all joy. You have people coming in and out of your congregation, count it all joy.
What are you talking about? I'm lost. She said if you're being lied about twice, for one, but that's just being picky. She said being lied about, that was the first thing that was on her list. She probably didn't look at her notes again. That was the first thing that was on her list. And then she said something in the middle, and then she said be lied about again. But besides the point, graffiti on the wall, what are you talking about? What church in this country? I can't say that because I don't want to say 100% because nothing's 100%. Y'all know any places that got graffiti on the walls at church? Y'all churches be getting vandalized? Cause what is she talking about? Ain't nobody doing that where I'm at. In my 29 years of life, I've never seen anybody vandalize a church. Do you know how demonic you have to be to pass all the interstates that has concrete walls and bridges? Because that's typically what the graffiti is. To pass all of that and head to your local church to spray graffiti on it, what does the graffiti say? I'm curious, for somebody that is in the mindset of graffitiing a church, whatever you want to call it, what would it say? I don't know. That was the weirdest thing ever, but it gets more weird. If that doesn't surprise you, let's listen to what she has to say specifically to pastors. She has a let's see, what do I want to say? Not necessarily recommendation, maybe advice. She has some advice for your local pastor. So let's take it away, right? Miss Shalami is on a roll. Got graffiti on the walls. Count it all joy. Let's see what advice she has for pastors now.
The health of a nation will never rise above the health of its churches. And the strength of a church will never rise above the faithfulness of its shepherds.
Hold on, I see a comment. You said synagogues are being vandalized. Okay, so that could be true. She portrays herself as a Protestant Christian, right? I know she changes in the different rooms wherever the money is, right? If she's in a room full of Catholics that got some money in their pockets, she's a Catholic for the day, right? If she's in the room with, with Izzy and those type of people, she's a Judeo-Christian all of a sudden, right? She's a Zionist all of a sudden. And then I wouldn't be surprised if, it just goes back and forth. She goes from a Catholic to a Protestant to Zionist. She flips back and forth every single day, depending on how the money sway, if you know what I mean. So a Protestant Christian, the typical Baptist churches, I mean, you're gonna have to give me some facts. If you're gonna preach on vandalizing churches, please bring up an example. Please. Words have meanings. So if you're gonna say something be vandalized, bro, please, especially something like that, please explain. Please, where? Give me the what happened. It happens at the same time. It happens at the Q&As as well. At these pick up the mic tours and all of that stuff. They had Blake Neff and Jack Posobiec, I think is his last name. And of course, a planted question go up there and he's talking about anti-Semitism. And he's like, well, I'm experiencing a lot of anti-Semitism on campus. What should I do? Of course, because Blake is the person you want to go to for that, right? Not the dean of students, maybe, to go get actual help. What is Blake Neff gonna do for you right now? If you in that much trouble, if you feeling that offended, what is Blake Neff and Jack Posobiec gonna do for you? Maybe you should talk to your mama, your daddy. Where did you get advice from them from? So that's besides the point. The point I'm making is anytime someone asks them, okay, well, what happened? What was the example on the anti-Semitic thing that you went through? Oh, I can't. What? If you're gonna throw out something like that and say you experiencing some type of hate, you better come with some facts, brother, sister, same, like whoever. You better come with some facts, bro, because don't throw out you getting somebody's, spewing hate, but you can't put a name to it. Now it's like, bro, what is you doing? Same thing that we're going to get to later in the program with Erika telling everybody and JD Vance and Andrew Kovac saying that everybody was threatening her life and that's why she didn't show up to Georgia. Who? Put a name to it. Because now she's a proven liar. So now I'm like, that's crazy because the news made it seem like we're just crazy. We're just these monstrous people that are just going after Eric. Nobody wants to hurt that lady. That would be the dumbest crime outside of the Fed slop that they want to say Tyler Robinson committed, right? Because Tyler Robinson right now, according to what they're telling us that he did, is the dumbest criminal of the century. Wants to keep it a secret. I know I'm tangenting. I'm sorry. I'm yapping. Wants to keep it a secret. Drops the gun on purpose when he's 10 feet away from his car. He's already ran. Drops the gun on purpose, gets in the car. He wants to keep it a secret, and he tells everybody that has ears. He just starts going crazy, texting everybody. Guess what I did today? Told a Discord of 20 random people in there. He's the dumbest criminal ever. You would be the second dumbest criminal ever if you chose to hurt that lady. Why in the world would you do that? She didn't do nothing for anybody to want to hurt her. So that's what pisses people off with this victim mentality, this victim thing that she's pulling right now, because nobody wants to hurt you, lady. What are you talking about? Why would anybody want to hurt you? You haven't even picked up a mic long enough for anybody well, people don't like you now, but before people started to not like you, nobody knew you. So I just don't like when people throw out some crazy accusations like that and don't put a name to it. If you say something's happening like that, you better give me an example. Don't make me go do research. You the one that brought it up. My apologies. Back to Miss Shalami on advice for pastors.
Will never rise above the faithfulness of its shepherds. What is spoken by you as a pastor in your pulpits on Sundays will shape what happens in our country on Monday morning. But here's the thing. Not every pastor feels that way.
How many times is she going to look at her paper? She can't go a sentence without looking at her paper. Well, I need to change the frame. I don't like the way she's looking at me like that.
Not every.
All right, there we go. Look at somebody else with them eyes, not me. But she can't go a sentence without looking at her paper. This is not the real her. This is a facade. This is not her natural ways. She has to stick to the script. Just pay attention to how many times she looks at her paper to say the most simple things in this sermon, speech, whatever you want to call it.
Not every pastor feels that way. Not every pastor feels the same way that you guys do in this room. Some aren't there yet. And to those pastors, I respectfully ask, what will it take? What will it take? Because my husband was murdered for preaching the gospel.
Charlie was not murdered for preaching the gospel. What the heck is you talking about, lady? What is she talking? This the BS I'm talking about. What is you talking about? Charlie was murdered the gospel as if he was just going to, campus to campus with the Bible in hand and only reading scriptures. And somebody said, I don't like what you're talking about. And then they just come like, what? Why are you blatantly lying right now? And some people they ask me this, bro, because like I be peeping some of the comment stuff. What more on TikTok, but some folks genuinely be like, bro, why you be so like, you know what I mean, all on Erika? And I'm like, bro, I don't think y'all understand how much this pisses me off when I see somebody in live time weaponizing religion, because that's a real thing that people take lightly. A lot of people don't think is as serious as it is. Most of our country is built on people weaponizing religion. Colonization, most of that is fueled and powered by weaponizing religion. That's how a lot of them gain control over people. Is weaponizing whatever religion it is to make it seem like they have to do what they say to obey them, or else you're going against whatever the religion is in whatever country they're in that they're trying to colonize the people. It's a known thing. It happens. It has happened, and it's still happening, clearly. And I cannot stand it, because these are the wolves in sheep clothing. We're looking at it. And you have to remember, this is somebody that is being thrown in our face to convince the public, the general public, on who to vote for in 2028. This ain't no regular schmegular blonde lady that's just like, all right, bro, we can move on from her. That's not what this is, bro. I don't think y'all understand. This lady is telling everybody to go vote for JD Vance. So if you're going to do something like that, oh yeah, I take every single word you say serious. Every single word. To get on that stage and tell millions of people to go vote for somebody, that's way bigger than just, she's just an influencer. Because if once people start realizing the power that, like, maybe I don't want to say power, maybe the influence that like Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk had on the public, on the youth. It was a lot. Charlie Kirk got Trump into office twice. So her stepping up to the plate and telling everybody to go vote for JD Vance, oh, it's serious business. We talking about kids' future, our future. And if she's going to be a mouthpiece for the next presidential candidate, oh yeah, I need to know exactly what you're saying, what you mean. Why did you mean it that way? All of that is very important. So her getting up here, weaponizing religion, weaponizing the Bible. Come on, bro. Charlie did not die from spreading the gospel. That is a blatant lie. That's not what happened. Because you can't say that and then also in the same breath say he was killed by a leftist. He was killed by a leftist. Bro, left, right. A lot of people on both sides read the Bible. So which one is it? Was it a crazy leftist that just didn't like him talking about transgenderism or whatever it is? Or is it truly killed because he was spreading the gospel? Two different things. And somebody probably gonna say, you know, in the Bible it talks about man and woman and blah blah. Bro, that is a conversation that Charlie never weaponized against anybody. He might bring it up. If they ask him, he might say, yeah, the Bible does say that. But he wasn't out there like, you're a sinner because you're a transgender woman. You're a sinner, you must repent right now. If they ask him how you feel about it, he just say, yeah, the Bible says man was made for woman, woman was made for man. I mean, that's that. But he always loved everybody. He debated transgender people all the time. I don't know, man, but she pisses me off, bro.
What will it take? Because my husband was murdered for preaching the gospel. What will it take? And you're afraid of taking a stance on a topic for fear of maybe losing attendance?
On what topic? What topic? Because no, pastors, you should not involve politics into the church. So what topic are you talking about, lady? Pastors shouldn't be up in there saying vote red or vote blue. Pastors should be preaching the gospel and then the morals and values that align with whatever party is up to your discretion. What you learn in church, you should be able to go out in the world and have discernment on which party you feel like aligns with your morals and values based on your religion, based on your beliefs, based on your core values. That's not for the pastor to go up in there and say, everybody vote JD Vance 2028. What? And that's what I'm getting at. I don't know about y'all. I could be tripping. I could be overanalyzing. I could be being overcritical. I'm open to that. I know I don't like her. But what do you mean pastors are, what exactly did she say?
On a topic for fear of maybe losing attendance, stance, what will it take? And you're afraid of taking a stance on a topic for fear of maybe losing attendance? Or what people will think about you? If you, the pastor of the church, define and explain what's going on in the world to your flock through a biblical lens and explain what a true biblical worldview is, they will flock to you. They will flock to you. Because if you don't, your congregation will find someone who else that will explain it to them.
I think in all of those times, she was supposed to get an applause. Those like awkward silences and pauses were supposed to be an applause, but the crowd didn't catch on to it. Kind of awkward for her, but you know, again, this is just not something she's good at, if we just want to be completely honest. I got one more clip from her amazing sermon before we get into Erika Kirk and JD Vance part 2, the reunion. I guess she wasn't even at the first one, so I don't know if this is a reunion, but we're gonna call it that. So let me play this last clip from this this sermon. I don't even think I really paid attention to this clip, so I might be watching this for the first time too.
Neutrality is no longer an option. It's a decision in itself. And I believe we are living in one of the most influential moments where not a moment goes by where you have to siphon it through a biblical lens. You have to realize, is this for cleverness or is this for careful positioning? This is not a moment for trimming the truth so that it fits.
What? Man, sometimes she be saying, oh, not sometimes, all the time, she be saying some stuff, and I'm like, I'm trying to get it in my mind. What did you mean by that? Like, y'all know, like Kamala Harris used to do that. I'm not gonna lie, she is 30 times worse than Kamala Harris. 30. Listen here, if it came down between Kamala Harris and her for the president of the United States, listen here. And I had to vote, because I wouldn't. But if I had to vote, I might get locked up for voter fraud. I'm going to make sure Kamala Harris gets into that office. This lady needs to stay far away from the White House, far away from any type of decision making. She's terrible. Man, she makes Kamala Harris look amazing. And I'm not trashing Kamala Harris for the Kamala Harris lovers. Okay, don't get sensitive on me. I'm just saying she just has a lot of word salad. She couldn't really articulate what she wanted out of this in her presidential campaign. I know she was in a tough spot because she couldn't go against Joe Biden. She couldn't go against the Democratic Party, but that's the deal you sign when you want to sign with a party. You got to represent them. You got to defend them. Look at Obama. Obama could have ran off in the sunset as a millionaire and never show his face again. But for some reason, he has to get involved every week, every month, and telling people to go vote for a Democrat. That's what you sign up for. So I'm not saying Kamala Harris is a terrible person. I just think that she did a lot of word salad and she said a lot of nothing. This lady is 20 times worse.
It's more comfortably in the spirit of the age, where not a moment goes by where you have to siphon it through a biblical lens. You have to realize, is this for cleverness or is this for careful positioning? This is not a moment for.
Is this for cleverness or is this for careful positioning? So I don't even want to think too long, bro. What the hell? Is this for cleverness or is this for careful positioning? What are you talking about? Bro, I don't know.
For trimming the through a biblical lens. You have to realize, is this for cleverness or is this for careful positioning? This is not a moment for trimming the truth so that it fits more comfortably in the spirit of the age, but a moment that demands clarity. And what will it take? It'll take a kind of courage that can only come from a life fully anchored in Christ. And I was blessed to witness in real time TPUSA Faith being born. It was special because Charlie knew, just like the team, regardless of the different denominations that we have, the different backgrounds, there is one banner that we are all united under, and that is Jesus Christ, who is our Lord and Savior, who died for our sins. That is the banner that we're under.
Oh my gosh. You know she had to say it out there because what? Sorry, I just got banned on TikTok. I was on live. I just got suspended. And this is exactly why I don't do TikTok anymore. I don't know what's different between me going live right here than TikTok, but I was just suspended. Whatever. Don't even care. She had to throw out the Jesus Christ in there because everybody knows that she struggles with ever since she has been given the spotlight. She struggles saying Jesus Christ. She really does. And it's only on like small podcasts. This is probably one of the biggest because it's probably happened before, but this is one of the biggest platforms where she has publicly said that. Most of the time, it's just Lord, God, all that other stuff, especially on national TV, boy. Because them donors, you got to remember, those Jewish donors don't believe in Jesus Christ the way that Christians do. So she doesn't say it when it's time for that money. Nah, she's saying God, she's saying Lord. But when it comes down to these smaller events, and they gotta secure the money from the Christians, that's when they allow her to say it. So I peeped that. Your husband was not murdered for preaching the gospel. He was a political debater, not an evangelist. I'm telling you, it's crazy. JD and AK talked, and JD didn't remember what day CK died. My question being, she just started showing her face. Why is she disliked so much? Answer that. I mean, they're gonna blame everybody else, and they're not going to answer. They're gonna blame everybody else. It's gonna be our fault on why she's disliked. But instead of just looking in the mirror, she's guilty of something. Completely betraying Charlie's direction. I agree. I definitely agree. Now, speaking of JD Vance, Erica Kirk again. Bro, sorry, I was looking at the reason I got banned from TikTok Live. It said it's for election influence. Okay, my little old page is gonna change the election in 2028. Whatever, bro. JD Vance and Erica Kirk are having a part 2 event at Iowa State University, I believe. It's Iowa State. Let me double check really quick. I'm about to pull up this flyer. It is Iowa State University. And let me pull this up so everybody can see it. So as you can see right here, attention Iowa students, join JD Vance and Erica Kirk for an unforgettable night as we bring the conversation straight to Iowa State University. And here is the flyer for part 2 on the JD Vance and Erica Kirk meetup. Will this happen? I believe so, because she cannot flake twice. That's impossible. However, this is a lose-lose situation across the board. Because if she shows up, then we're going to talk about these threats a little bit. JD Vance, you got stood up one time. Why is he so pressed? Why is he so persistent into meeting with Erica Kirk and doing these events? Don't you have more things to do as the vice president? Aren't there better things to do? I don't know. Saving the country from this war. You had 3 failed, I repeat, 3 failed peace agreements, peace deals. Don't you have better things to do than meeting with Miss Shalami on stage talking about what? She set you up, right? So you should be pissed. You should be pissed. You flew all the way out to Georgia for what? To talk to the size, the talk to a couple hundred people. She ain't even there. And she lied, saying her life was in danger. Got you looking crazy, and you're going to do it all over again with her? It's very strange. I think they are forcing this combination forcing this duo on us. 1 second, please hold. I'm just trying to submit this appeal so that way I can continue to go live. Okay. Sorry, TikTok things. They ban you for everything. So I was just trying to submit my appeal. Yeah, so JD Vance going to Iowa State and doing this all over again with Erika Kirk is so strange on so many different levels, because I don't know why they're forcing this duo onto us so hard. If we want to just be honest, we know that there's a JD Vance and Kirk website, and that's what they're going for. I've said it for a long time that she was pushing to be vice president. I think the first time I said that was like late November, December. That's what her whole PR tour was, and I first noticed it at the CBS interview with Barry Wise. I was like, nah, this is not a Erica's grieving moment here. No. This is a soft launch into her political career, because they were asking her questions about things that were going on around the world for her opinion and stuff. And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares what she has to say? I'm sorry, but who are you? And that's when I was like, oh, this is way more than just, oh, I'm on tour for my husband's death. No, I knew it then. But that's what they're doing to us. They're forcing this duo on us. And it's so weird. And it's not gonna work. It's making it worse. That's what they don't realize. Maybe they do. I don't know. I feel like we live in the real world. It's making it worse. And I realized something as well with this poster of them advertising it. So this is the poster right here. Going to Iowa State on 4/30, 7 days from now. So next Thursday. Can't wait. It's going to be a great content day. However, this is the poster, right, for Iowa State University. Look at Charlie. I'm sorry. I thought my mouse was over here. All right, here we go. Look at Charlie in the background. This is for April 30th, right? Next week. They're advertising it. JD Vance, Erika Kirk, Part 2. Look at the flyer for UGA. Look at Charlie. So you got Iowa State, Charlie facing forward. UGA, Charlie facing backwards. Now, when this flyer first came out, everybody was in a frenzy about this, right? Everybody couldn't believe. One, why is Charlie on there, bro? Like, I'm just being, not to be morbid, let's move on, right? It's been 7 months. Let's move on. Not from like Charlie Kirk, don't ever talk about him again, nothing like that. But stop using him as some type of pawn, some type of shield. Stop using him for your clicks. They swear up and down everybody else around them is doing it for clicks. Right? Doing it for clicks. Oh, you're monetizing off of my husband. Blah, 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 all that other stuff. Bro, y'all are literally the kings and queens of monetizing off of Charlie Kirk. Right? In the weirdest way, right? Because she's obviously his wife, the widow. So we already know that you're gonna get some type of money from what happened. But y'all monetize off of Charlie in the weirdest ways, like this. Charlie's on a poster when he's not gonna be there. First off, his back's turned. That's weird. I would prefer the other way when he's facing. I would prefer it this way right here, where he's facing, if you're gonna do it. So that tells you that they were listening to the comments, because now he's facing. I mean, my fault. Now he's facing. At first he wasn't, as you can see right here. But these people are monetizing off of Charlie in the weirdest ways, because why is he on this poster, bro? He's not going to be there. I hope his ghost is not there. Erika probably tells people that. She told her employees that Charlie's in the room, right? So that was already weird, but why are they forcing this duo onto us? I don't know. JD Vance has bigger things to worry about. You were just set up by this woman a week ago, 2 weeks ago on 4/14. So why in the world would you get on Air Force Two, use our tax dollars, fly out to Iowa State to meet with her again after everything that went down? Gas prices is high. We're in a war which you failed 3 times, I believe, maybe 2 times. You failed on a peace agreement. Don't you have bigger things to worry about than going around on a Turning Point tour? It's not working, brother. I'm holding JD Vance to the same standards that I held Kamala Harris to when Joe Biden was bad. Kamala Harris sat back, didn't say a word. Just didn't. I mean, that's probably what they got to do. That's the deal they signed. But that's just what it is, though. You didn't say a word. Kamala Harris sat back and allowed all of that stuff to happen. Then when people asked her about it, she lied. Probably to save face. But again, that's not my problem that you have to get up there and lie. I'm going to take that lie and know who you are moving forward because of that lie. And then when the campaign came around and they said, would you do anything different than Joe Biden? She said no. She lied. She would, if y'all heard her book summarized by other people. Her entire book was pissed off at Biden, pissed off at her campaign. She was everything that we knew, which is why we didn't vote for her. She finally outed. But she was lying. But JD Vance is in that same seat, and I'm holding him to the same standards. What Trump is doing right now, JD Vance don't say a word, and he can't. But that alone is going to hurt him. His silence is loud. JD Vance going at the picture that he was portraying himself as Jesus, going at the Pope and the Catholics and all of that. And JD Vance is Catholic. JD Vance didn't have a word to say. Oh, Trump was just joking. Gas prices are high. We're in a war. Joe Kent, who is just an amazing person that seems to know what he's talking about. You're allowing Trump to bash him and disrespect him in the craziest way possible, when he actually sounds like he's the one person that knows how to stop this war. And then on top of it all, you want to go meet with Erika Kirk twice. And the first one was a disaster. It's not looking good. This is not helping JD Vance. It's actually making it much worse. And I don't know why they keep on using this 2018 picture of Erika Kirk. She don't look like this no more. It's old. It's a picture of her before Charlie. Before meeting Charlie, before getting married. Maybe not meeting Charlie, but before getting married, before kids. That's what this picture is right here. How weird is that? Just imagine if on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, imagine somebody using their profile picture of like 10 years ago. And not trying to be funny and none of that. They like genuinely like they got it up there, and then you see them in person. You're like, what? Why would you do that? Like they are genuinely trying to flex the picture as if they look like that. Because that's what she does. At the last event she did, she had this picture right here in the background as she walked out with the WWE music. It's like, why is that picture? Why are you still using that picture? It's kind of embarrassing. And JD Vance doing this event is just, I can't wait, because I'm curious on how this is going to play out. What happened to the threats? What happened to the threats? This is the same exact event, just in a different state. So what happened to the threats? The same threats should happen Again, I don't hope it does. It's obviously fake. It's obviously fake. But the threats that they said were there, if we're just being consistent here, that means the same threats are going to come about with this event. Everybody knows she's going to travel to Iowa State. Everybody knows she's going to be there on 4/23. Everybody's going to know what plane she's flying. So what's the difference? But that's how you know she lied. And you know it's going to get very, very, very serious after today. Hopefully, because it seems like a lot of times, you know, these stories don't go as viral as they should. But the UGA, Turning Point USA chapter president, resigned today. Georgia. Did I say that? UGA? Yeah. UGA, Georgia's Turning Point chapter's president resigned today. I wonder why. Does it have something to do with Erika not showing up last minute with JD Vance and saying that she had threats on her life? Right? That's the story. She was supposed to show up to UGA with JD Vance, but threats. She had threats out on her life, so she couldn't show. Right? That's the story. Let's see why she resigned. Oh, sorry. Let's see why she resigned. My name is Caroline Maddox. This is very blurry on my screen that's right in front of me, so I am sorry if I squint or say a word wrong because it is very blurry. My name is Caroline Maddox, and I am the president of Turning Point USA at the University of Georgia. Being a part of TPUSA has been a dream of mine for a very long time. I was prepared to devote my college years to building the UGA chapter and carrying on Charlie Kirk's legacy. Turning Point USA was founded to promote truth, fight for conservative values, encourage independent thought, and defend free speech. However, it became abundantly clear to me following our event on April 14th, right? April 14th. Look at the date at the bottom. Okay. It became abundantly clear to me following our event on April 14th that TPUSA's mission and purpose have been lost along the way. It became evident to me that the organization's current direction no longer aligns with the principles upon which it was founded. I witnessed firsthand what I believe to be the organization's true direction following Charlie Kirk's passing. And I have significant concerns about its messaging and current trajectory. What else happened on April 14th, right? She obviously can't be specific. I don't know why. I'm totally different than a lot of people, right? Maybe I point people out by name. I don't really care. I would do it. When I used to work for a pyramid scheme, by accident, obviously I didn't know I was in a pyramid scheme. When I used to work for a pyramid scheme, and when I chose to quit, I called people out by name. Right? Had this whole group chat of about 50, 60 employees that none of us knew that we was in a pyramid scheme. We was just working. But when I found out and I was on my way out the door, I dropped in that group chat and I name dropped all the bosses that we had that were taking advantage and manipulating us. I'm not going out with I'm not PR trained. So I'm not, hey, thanks for the opportunity. I don't think this is going to work. No. I name dropped everybody. And I literally hit up the group chat of 60, 70 employees. I said, they're lying to you. This person, that person, and this person. That's just how I am. I'm not PR trained. I'm sorry. They lucky I ain't got no huge platform, bro. I would have been canceled. Or they would have, canceling don't even exist. All you have to do is keep posting. But they would have tried to cancel me. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. In light of this, I am resigning from my position as president of the Turning Point USA chapter at the University of Georgia. While I am grateful for the experiences, lessons, and people this chapter has brought me, I can no longer, in good conscience, continue to represent an organization that I believe has strayed so far from its original purpose and principles. Charlie spent his life fighting for truth, and I do not believe he would stand for the blatant honesty now being spread by the organization that he built. His mission was never about the numbers, appearances, or relevance. It's not, it's this. I can't even remember what she said. There it is. His mission was never about the numbers, appearances, or relevance. I think we know who she's talking about, and I think I know the situation she's talking about. I think we can put two and two together here. She thinks she's so much better than she actually is. Facts. All the future Q&As. I'm telling you, I'm done saying Kirk, for real. I know I've been saying it in this show and all that, but she really don't deserve that last name. No, she lying. My husband was murdered preaching. Pyramid scheme by accident. Listen, it was an accident. I don't know how I got up in that thing. I thought I was working a real job. And then next thing you know, I was like, hold on. I'm looking left and right. I'm like, how did I get myself into this? It was a complete accident, I swear. His mission was never about numbers, appearances, or relevance. He showed people the beauty of just having a conversation and inspired an entire generation to make a change. His mission was never about performing, but about encouraging my generation and future generations to stand up for what is right and fight to save America. I remain committed to standing for truth and fighting for the future of our country, and I will continue to stand firmly in that mission. I know I am not alone, and I look forward to standing alongside others who value integrity, think for themselves, and have the courage to do what is right, even when it's not easy or popular. As Charlie often says, stand for what is right, even if you stand alone. Facts. That message guides me, and I will continue to carry it with me in all that I do. I think we can confirm that she resigned because Erika lied. That's just what it is. She resigned. Sorry, they appealed my my ban on TikTok. Somebody was just hating and got it suspended. She resigned because Erika lied. I think this is further confirmation for the people that didn't believe it before, for all the people that were gaslighting us, saying, oh, no, there were actual threats out there. There were actual threats. The Turning Point USA, UGA's Turning Point USA chapter president just confirmed that Erika is a liar. That's what that is. If you just want to be completely blunt, that's what it is. So now, I want y'all to really understand what this means. If she's coming out basically insinuating that Erika lied, then what does that mean to all the people who came out and said that everybody's a monster for threatening Erika and making it seem like it's the general public's fault that's on why Erika couldn't come? I want y'all to remember all of those people who said that. How dare y'all threaten Erika? Everybody that came to her defense and blamed imaginary people for threatening her life and making it seem like everybody's just so evil. It's so much evil in the world. They created that in their minds, right? Gaslighted everybody. All to make sure Erika Kirk fits the victim narrative. I want y'all to remember JD Vance also was partaking in that. He was engaging and blaming the general public. So what does that mean for JD Vance? Should JD Vance come out and apologize and resign? Because what's going on here? And if y'all don't remember some of these lies that were spewed, I have the clips. So why don't we go through and listen to all the people that swore up and down that Erika was actually receiving death threats? Erika couldn't come because of the death threats. Y'all are monsters for making this happen. How could y'all? I don't even know who I want to start with. I'm gonna just click on my sources and go down from there. Oh, look at that. I get the quote. I get to source myself, cite myself. First person up, Graham Allen. Blindly Gab, what's going on? She's awake. Yeah, she definitely knows something. My bad, TikTok family. They somebody was in the live and they was hating and suspended it and got it banned, but I appealed it. We back, but clearly they shadow banning because now it's like not even, I don't know, it's like 90% less action going on. Graham Allen, not a fan of this guy at all. He's one of the Shalami soldiers that just go out and defend Erika no matter what. He might have stayed quiet during that 15-year-old girl situation. I can't remember. But this is what Graham Allen said. I forgot. Let me see. Did I get to click on that? No. Okay. But M. Tracy said something. Graham Allen said, "How much of an idiot are you? Erika does not have Secret Service. JD Vance does." Because I think M. Tracy said what we all were saying, and it was, if Erika Kirk is 2 feet away from JD Vance, wouldn't the Secret Service also protect her? And yes, they would. But they tried to gaslight us and say Erika Kirk doesn't have Secret Service. JD Vance does. Bro, Secret Service blocked off the UGA, the Athens airport, for however many hours. They secured the event, the venue, for however many hours prior. Everything that was in the same route of the vice president was secured for hours, probably a day. So if Erika is landing in the same vicinity and areas and taking the same routes, she's protected by the Secret Service, bro. She could have literally got off her PJ and hopped into the same black truck with JD Vance and went to the event. But Graham Allen was one of the Shalami soldiers that came out and tried to gaslight us. But look at what his lie was. I want y'all to just pay attention to these different lies and all the different stories we're about to hear. Graham Allen says the risk to Erika was related to groups that were stalking her at her home and following her. Thanks to people like Candace Owens, right? Gotta throw Candace Owens in there for whatever reason. Candace ain't had nothing to do with the event. She ain't had nothing to do with the threats, nor did she have anything to do with nobody showing up to listen to JD Vance speak. But this is what Graham said, right? The risk to Erika was related to groups that were stalking her at her home and following her. I immediately thought, well, if she's being stalked at her house, wouldn't it make sense to go to Georgia? I don't know. I'm no travel expert. I would just think if you're at home and the threat is at home and you have an event in Georgia, this is a beautiful time to go to Georgia. And you know what's even crazier? She wasn't even at home. She was leaving Florida. She had some type of event with her girls trip in Florida. She had a girls trip in Florida. So she wasn't even in Scottsdale. So look at that lie. That was the first one. So Graham placed blame on groups of people, right? This is still very harmful because you're creating this imaginary problem that are putting like imaginary people at risk, but you're having this idea be portrayed by the general public that there are evil people in the world. There are evil people in Scottsdale. So now what if people start looking for people and, you know, trying to put two and two together for something that's not even there? So Graham said this first. He was one of the salami soldiers that came to the front and blatantly lied because the threats didn't even come from Scottsdale. They can't even get their story straight. Let's hear what Andrew Kovac had to say. What was Andrew Kovac's story? Now, Andrew Kovac said some things on stage with JD Vance that night, but I want to play something very specific that Andrew Kovac chose to say the next day, because it actually is not even the same thing that he said the night before. So let's listen to Andrew Kovac's new reason on Erika Kirk not showing up, or my fault, nobody showing up to the JD Vance event. This is what he had to say about that.
2,000 people there, massive energy, great enthusiasm from the attendees. But and this happens, the left-wing groups swarm the ticketing and they try and book up all the tickets and then they don't show. And that's one of their forms of protest. Normally we're pretty good at sniffing it out, but they use some new means and activities. And so we're working with our ticketing systems to adjust for that moving forward. But yeah, it was a eventful night. So we had over 2,000 people there, massive energy, great enthusiasm from the attendees. But and this happens, the left-wing groups swarm the ticketing and they try and book up all the tickets and then they don't show. And that's one of their forms of protest. Normally we're pretty good at sniffing it out, but they use some new means and activities. And so
of course, something new. The left came up with a new system to book all the tickets and not show. Like, come on, bro. They just making stuff up. So Andrew Kovac came up with that excuse on why people weren't at the event, right? Then not only that, this is also Andrew Kovac and JD Vance commenting on the imaginary threats and the imaginary people that are so scary and monstrous and dangerous for threatening Erika in her life. Let's listen to this lie.
For those of you wondering why I don't have really flowing long blonde hair right now, so I'm going to address it right at the front. Mr. Vice President, I'm on stage here instead of our friend Erika Kirk.
That's right.
Because unfortunately, she has received some very serious threats in her direction, which is terrible. It's a terrible reflection on the state of reality and the state of the country. But
Barron made a great point and said that you can clearly see that Andrew Kovac was not prepared to talk to JD Vance because of what he has on right now. Because yeah, I noticed that too, and I was like, what is happening? He looks way too casual, and he has this iPad that he's scrolling through questions on. But let's hear JD Vance and what he has to say about the crazy general public that just won't leave Erika Kirk alone.
And the state of the country. But it underscores a larger point that she has received a lot of attacks from surprising places, perhaps. Tell us what you think about that. Some of the people that have made, part-time jobs out of attacking Erika, and this is the net result.
Sure. Well, first of all, I love Erika, and I know that she did get some threats. And, about 2 hours ago, as you know, Andrew, I was a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erika was not going to come, and she was very worried about it. And I talked to the Secret Service, and obviously these guys do a very good job. And I said, you know what? Let's let Erika do what she needs to do for herself and her family. I'm sure Andrew will fill in. And let's go and make this an amazing event with the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens, Georgia. So absolutely, we're going to do this thing. But
is it done? So again, more imaginary threats that even JD Vance confirms. Erika had threats against her, but Secret Service said everything was cool, but we're going to let her do her thing and protect her family. These people are liars. Liars. And you can see it in Andrew Kovic's face in the beginning, how much of a liar he is.
So for those of you wondering why I don't have really flowing long blonde hair right now, so I'm going to address it right at the front. Mr. Vice President, I'm on stage here instead of our friend Erika Kirk.
That's right.
Because unfortunately, she has received some very serious threats in her direction.
Look at his face. Because unfortunately, she's receiving some serious threats. Like literally looking for, oh my gosh, not Miss Shalami. Who would do such a thing? Like, come on, bro. She is not that. Bro, look, somebody just said that. She is not that important. Thank you. Thank you. She is not that important. She is not that important. This is, oh my gosh, bro. Where are the arrests? Where's the investigation? Where's the FBI investigation? We're going to see some arrest? Like, to me, this was one of the clearest lies ever, right? The most obvious lie that they still try to gaslight us on. And I'm honestly I'm sick and tired of them getting away with stuff like this. It's so annoying because they just continue to play in our face every single day. They keep on playing in our face. You can't lie about something like this and get away with it. You can't. You can't blame imaginary people. You can't blame the general public on why this event was a failure. You can't blame us on why Erika didn't show up. Just to fit the victim narrative that she can always play. Okay, if she was receiving threats, really, then let's see some arrests then. Where are the arrests? Where's the investigation? How are you just all of a sudden going to pop out with JD Vance in Iowa State and have the same event and act like nothing happened? Bro, I hope she is so lucky that she ain't close to where I'm at. Because I'm so sick of these people, man. Because now in Iowa, let's just be real. They're about to buy so many tickets. Fake people are going to be, actors are going to be there. They're going to have 1,000 Turning Point field trips for all the students. It's going to be 90% TPUSA employees, staff, students. And then it might be like 5%, one of them, 10 or 5% of the general public that are like, let me just, maybe those are the ones that are also a little brainwashed. Let me go see Erika Kirk because I'm a fan, or JD Vance, whatever. But they're going to pack this out to try to, again, make it seem like it was a success. They do it all the time. But I'm just trying to figure out, if you had all of these threats, then why would you show up to this event? It's the same exact thing. Some believe she was there hiding in the back because when one man spoke, thank EF, he looked, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I saw that clip. He literally said, thank you, Erika. She was there. Wait a second. Did Erika cancel on speaking at Baylor? Yes, something did happen with Baylor. I know somebody asked me that at the beginning of this episode or the live, and I don't know the details, but I did see something about Baylor canceling and all of that, but I don't know all the details of it though. Now another lie. This is the two more lies. I'm sorry. Here is what. Let's do. Can I stand talking about this guy? But I gotta play it. I got to. Because man, he amazes me. Let's see what this guy has to say. Because he Brandon Tatum. Let's see what this guy has to say, because apparently he knows about the threats and he can break it down to us and explain it better and help us understand.
More than likely did not show up. You don't have to jump to a conclusion and say, oh, she's a liar. She just made it up. Let me play this and then let me say this, and then we'll have Andrew Cover's statement about the topic. But here's one thing that I think people really don't realize. You got to put your thinking cap on. If you were to say Erika Kirk was embarrassed at the crowd size, why would she be embarrassed at the crowd size? Why would she even care? If the crowd size was so dismal, then JD Vance, the vice president with Secret Service and millions of dollars of security, wouldn't have traveled there if the event was a nothing burger.
Where do you go? Does he hear himself when he asks these rhetorical questions?
Care. If the crowd size was so dismal, then JD Vance, the vice president with Secret Service and millions of dollars of security, wouldn't have traveled there if the event was a nothing burger. They could have both left the venue and said, look, we're not going to show up, and gave you whatever excuse they wanted to. Why would you think that somehow she's afraid of numbers? Erika Kirk speaks at events where it's a few people in the room. So that's not a logical conclusion, in my personal opinion. And whatever else excuse people making that Erika Kirk really had to do this and that, why does it matter? She can do what she want to do.
There you go. They do that every time. Every time they're caught in a lie and they're being debunked, right? They're being proven to be a liar. Their favorite saying, well, why does it matter? Because you lied. What are you talking about? What? Why does it matter that you lied? Why does it matter that she lied? You got to be kidding me, right? Lisa Knowles hit me with that when we had that open discussion. And I'm sure y'all remember, for the ones that watched that debate, or open discussion, I like to call it. When I said, that picture she posted of, her alibi to claim that she wasn't at Fort Huachuca, she posted that picture of those two kids, and those two kids weren't hers. I know for a fact the boy wasn't. I can't speak on the girl. But the boy for sure wasn't hers. And she said, why does it matter? What? Someone's asking the wife, where were you 2 days before your husband died? She provides a picture to establish an alibi, saying, I was with my kids about to go for a walk. And the kids are not hers, and it's a fake picture, and you're sitting here telling me, why does that matter? What the freak are you talking about? Like, it's people like that I should be like, okay, so this conversation is over because you're not human. Simple as that. You're not human. You're not normal. Why does it matter that somebody's lying to you? Okay, bro. Okay, Brandon Tatum.
Why does it matter? She can do what she want to do. She told you the reason why, and you don't have to speculate the reason why unless you have unequivocal evidence that it's wrong.
That's what people did. See, the funny thing about Brandon Tatum is that he's usually about a day late to the party. So he'll come out maybe a day or two late to the party. So he'll come out and say some BS like this, and then it will already be debunked. And it's like, did you get on the internet to see what was going on before you posted this? Unless you have evidence. The evidence is already out there that she wasn't. That she was in UGA. That's why everybody's going crazy, because everybody came to the conclusion that she was there.
But for somebody to say that because there was no threat at the facility, somehow Erika is lying, you don't know nothing about security. You're not genuine. That's point blank, period. Andrew Covey has something to say about it. Let's jump to this real quick. I think I can read it from here. It said, this is an absolute garbage headline by CBS, which didn't even bother to reach out to us for comment. Why wouldn't you reach out to the organization that bear the record of the threat assessment? Okay. I think he goes on to say, of course, there is no issue at the venue. I think he articulates everything that I said. There's no issue at the venue. The threats were related to Erika Kirk's travel, just like I said, not the venue. There are lunatics following her around constantly. In the days leading up to the event, we had the.
Let me just read it for myself. I can't stand listening to this guy anyway. But this is Andrew Covet's lie. The threats were related to Erika's travel, not the venue. Okay, so she's traveling to Iowa State on April 30th. Everybody look out for a G5 private jet to be at Iowa State, traveling to Iowa State from Scottsdale on 4:30. You realize that it is the same exact threat that where's the threat? It's a public figure going to a public event that they announced on their socials. You made it weird by not showing up to UGA. Now you're going to have people interested in your travel. And somehow she's going to be there, right? I guarantee you she's not going to bail twice. She's going to be there. But guess what? You're going to be in Iowa State on April 30th at whatever time. And you're going to be flying a G5 private jet because that's what charities do. Is pay $100,000 to fly somewhere with taxpaying dollars because it's a charity. But you're going to be there. And Andrew says there are lunatics following her around constantly. Okay. In the days leading up to the event, we had to constantly change her itinerary and locations because threats were made against her specifically, and her location again, docs. I'm not even finna get into all that because, again, the entire thing was proven to be a lie. But you see people like Andrew Covet. Keep in mind, remember, Andrew Covet lied on the surgeon. I don't need anything else from you, Andrew Covet. You can shut up now. Once you're proven to be a liar, bro, you lost all credibility. You lied about the surgeon. You lied on the Superman neck. You and Erika. Y'all lied about that. So why would you think that I'm going to take what you say at face value? Why would you think after lying about something like that, I'm going to sit back and say, you know what? Andrew, man, it's an honest guy. If he said Erika was facing threats, I believe him. You don't have that, bro. You lost that. You are a proven liar. You and Erika. And they always run to Fox News the second they start to lose the public's kind of like the public's favor, the public on their side. They run to Fox News to save face, damage control. And he did. He ran to Fox News. And matter of fact, I got that tweet up. This will be the last thing I show. I know we got an hour and 30 in, so we're running a little long. I got to yapping. But they run to Fox News for damage control. But the funniest part about this, I don't know if y'all peeped this, and I'm not gonna lie, I was the first person to bring this up. I'm not to toot my horn or nothing, but I was the first person to spot this out. And obviously, you know, Candace is way bigger than me, so she talked about it later on in the afternoon. But peep this right here. This is damage control by Turning Point USA after the UGA failed event with Erika not showing up and all of that good stuff. Peep this right here. Don't like Tatum. What happened to Lisa? Yeah, Lisa been very quiet lately, right? Lisa has been very quiet. Tatum worked hard. BLB raid. Welcome. Black Line Brief in the building. All of the supporters from BLB. Welcome over. But yes, watch this real quick.
Experience for me too, just to have to watch that very difficult decision get made, which I think is the first time that we've ever had to make that decision. in Turning Point history. But everything that happened with Charlie, obviously, his assassination, we're still.
That's not UGA. I mean, that's not the venue JD Vance and Andrew Kovac was in the night before. Anybody with brain cells and eyes could tell. I promise you, I'm not to toot my horn. I was the first person for sure. I'm small. I'm a little bitty, you know what I mean? Little bitty platform. But the second I seen this, I literally paused it right here. I was in television production. That was one of my degrees. So as soon as I was paying attention to the B-roll, I said, bro, that's not the event. That's not the venue. Just look at how it's made, right? I'm sorry, I keep thinking my mouse is over here. Look at how it's made. Anybody with brain cells and eyes can tell you that this is not the same venue. Look at how this is made here.
Grieving that, and
I think you can see, go back a little bit, you see
nation, we're still, grieving that, and you.
Okay, so yeah. So look at how this is made here, right? This looks like some type of maybe like a high school gym in a way. Maybe college, maybe a big high school gym.
Saw what happened with Savannah Hernandez, one of our TPUSA Frontlines reporters in Minneapolis.
Look at it. This is a different place too. This is not the same place as the last place. Look at the yellow banners up here. This is totally different as well.
And to see the security.
This is obviously some type of college. Let me mute this just in case. This is obviously some type of college venue with all of these banners, these sports banners up here. Look, this is not the same place. I think that's like Glenn Beck, somebody pointed out. This is not the same place as the other two places. Look at these stairs. What gym, what arena do you know that has stairs like this? And then here we are. I mean, you can just completely tell this is a completely different venue based off of the background, the color, the vibes. I noticed this on the first time I seen this clip. I said, bro, these are 3-4 different Turning Point events that they put inside one clip. Look at this. This is not in a gym at all. You might have this in a church. You might have this in an auditorium. You're not having this in an arena. And then the UGA event, which they're obviously not going to show the back shot, which I can probably find to show you the wide angle of what it looks like in there. But y'all saw how the stairs looked. Y'all saw the banners hanging from the ceiling, right? Y'all saw how everything was set up. So once I go find this UGA picture, you're gonna be like, yeah, that's not the same place. What's going on? What's up? What's up from the BLB crew? We was talking about y'all earlier. Let me see if I can find this picture of, this would be the last thing, I promise. I just want to find this picture of the UGA arena just so y'all can see what I was talking about. Sorry if y'all can hear my mouse. All right, here we go, right here. Look at this right here. Again, what person with brain cells and eyes couldn't look at this and say that is not the same venue as the other 4 they showed in that B-roll on that Fox News hit? There's no banners. It's not yellow. There's no stairs like y'all saw it before. That's on like the side. It's just an open arena, open sports arena. But again, these are the things that concern me because of how much they lie. They lie about everything. All the way down to the, if you have to lie about something as simple as that, you can't even show me B-roll of JD Vance and Andrew Covett at the UGA arena. You can't even just show me B-roll of y'all there last night. You have to lie about that too. You have to lie about, like, come on, if y'all have to lie about the small things, bro, like, I don't know, man. It bothers me. It bothers my soul how much they lie and how much they, I mean, I wouldn't say get away with it, because we called them out on ABS. But in a way, it's kind of getting away with it, because I continue to wonder why the mainstream media, they don't pick up on these lies and actually press Turning Point USA and question them on these lies. I need Andrew Covett to get back on that Fox News hit and explain himself for lying about that B-roll. Explain himself on the conspiracies or allegations on Erika already being in UGA or being in Georgia, being in Athens. But then they go radio silent. They go on X, they go and start doing their little Twitter fingers. They get debunked. They don't say nothing else. Andrew went on there and lied on the surgeon. When it came out that he did lie on the surgeon and that Erika was involved in that, they go radio silent. Stuff like that bothers me, because I'm like, what is happening? Why doesn't anybody care about those lies? I know we care. We care a lot. So I'm aware of that. I just be confused on why the mainstream media and nobody that has the platform to get the wheels spinning, why don't they ever come out and question these people and say, bro, you lied on the surgeon, bro? Like, that is a pretty big lie, to lie on the surgeon and say Charlie had a Superman neck. To say the surgeon said Charlie was Man of Steel. To say that big lie, yeah, you need to come out and issue a statement on your lie. An apology. I need something. Radio silent is not an option, because you lying on the surgeon about something like that makes me believe you will lie about anything, which they are. They're proving themselves to do that. They lie about everything, anything and everything. All the way down to the little white lies, like B-roll on a Fox hit. It's crazy. But we'll see. They got an event coming up again, April 30th. JD and Erica Kirk, part 2, the reunion. I am going to be tuned in, because I don't see why the threats would go away. It's the same exact event in just a different state. Everybody knows you're going to be there, right? Andrew just said in that tweet, people follow her all the time. Okay, so she was at an event with Trump later this week, like later later in the week of this UGA event, she was with Trump. In that event, we just covered earlier that she was on the show on her TP Turning Point Faith sermon. It's all cap, bro. Nobody's threatening that girl. Nobody wants to harm that girl. Everybody knows that you would be the dumbest criminal alive if you chose to harm that woman. The way they want her to be a victim so bad. And trust me, I want to be wrong, right? Let me get a squig before I say this. I want to be wrong about this, but I'm going to just throw it out there because I've thrown it out there before. For some reason, they want to push the Erika Kirk is the victim narrative onto us. They really want to. That is her only identity. People only know her as the widow, as Charlie's wife. And once that goes away, she's nothing. Nobody cares about her, quite frankly. That's not to be morbid or mean, but nobody cares about her. The only thing she's holding on to is Charlie's wife. So when these situations happen where people stop feeling bad for her because they're like, you're a liar, so I don't feel bad for you anymore. You're a liar and I don't like you. That puts Turning Point USA, and it puts Erika, that puts whoever's controlling them, because I don't think that they're the masterminds behind all of this. That puts all of them at risk because now they don't know how to save Erika when the only thing she had going for her is Erika Kirk, the victim. Once that title is taken from her, they spiral. They don't know what to do. Now, they're not going to allow that to happen, right? They will refuse to go down without a fight of allowing the title Erika Kirk, the victim, to go away. I think they will go to the full extent to get that title back by trying a lot of different things, such as fake death threats, right? Because she has to be the victim. Fake death threats at these events. Once people start catching on, like we've already started to do, and we start realizing, bro, you ain't getting no fake death threats, and we start debunking everything, I think to control the narrative and get that back, get that Erika Kirk's the victim back, I think they will go to the extent of hiring a Tyler Robinson. Now, I'm not saying, to the full extent and shebang of what they did with Tyler Robinson, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not hoping for that. Again, I'm hoping all of this is wrong. This is just my opinion. But I think to get control, to regain control of the narrative that Erika Kirk is the victim, I think they would get a Tyler Robinson to do something crazy, maybe come close, a little scare, and they're going to blame that person. That person's going to come out voluntarily. That person's going to come out and say, they're somehow going to confess to everything, but in the weirdest way. They're like, oh my gosh, like I had enough of her. I had enough of her. And they're like, who did you listen to feel this way? Candace Owens. Candace Owens. I listened to, it has to be Candace Owens. Everybody doesn't hate Baron Coleman yet. So they're going to be like, Candace Owens. I listen to her every day. I agree with her so much. And you know what? I started to realize she made me open my eyes to Erika Kirk, and I had to realize that she has to go. And once they do that, it's going to be very hard for us to speak on it. I wouldn't necessarily say ever again, but it's going to be a very, very, very sensitive topic to speak on. Because now it's this person just came out and confessed to wanting to hurt Miss Shalami, all because of the influence of Candace Owens and her conspiracies. So if we come out and say, man, she capping, that ain't real, that's going to be hard to defend, because this random person that they paid to do, they paid to do all this, he's going to come out and all the things that we've been talking about, he's going to come out and say that he was controlled by that. He was influenced by that. So if we come out and say that he's like, this assassination attempt, whatever it is cap, it's going to be hard to say that. It's going to be hard. They would do anything to shut us up and regain control of the narrative that Erika Kirk is the victim. And if they can't get that from us naturally by lying and doing these different events, and we tried to pull off the death threat situation, that didn't work. I'm telling y'all, they will go to the full extent of making sure she's the victim in the public eyes. In the public eye, I'm sorry. They will make sure she secures that title. I hope I'm wrong. But I think we've seen this 1,000 times in many other different situations. And I think that death threat situation that happened last week is just the beginning. And I think it's going to get much worse. Just because they're like, dang, bro. The public ain't even falling for the death threats. What do we do? Erika, what's next? We tried that. We tried the death threats. We tried turning you into a preacher. We tried. We gave you unlimited eye drops. They not even falling for the tears no more. We don't know what to do anymore. We trained you how to cry. You always had the tissue with you. We tried everything. But the public is just not going for it. We want you to be the vice president. We want you to be with JD Vance on a ticket, but it's not working. They don't like you. So what can we do? And I think, hey, y'all remember Butler, Pennsylvania? I think they would go to the full extent of making sure they regain control of the Erika Kirk is the victim. Right? They want that story. They pushing for it. I don't know what's next, but I think we should be prepared for something. Because I think they're starting to realize that the public is not going for it. The public is not buying her BS no more. Every time she says a word on the internet, it goes viral because nobody likes her. It's nobody's fault but hers. It's cool. It's cool. That I swear that was the last thing that I had to talk about. Just in case anybody had to work in the morning. That's on me. I got into my yapping mode because we are like an hour and 50 minutes in. So we 50 or so minutes behind. I don't necessarily have a hard stop at an hour. But we are a little bit behind. But I saw a lot of comments. I think we talked about a lot of things in the comments as the live went on. So I don't think we have a lot of comments to catch up on, but I'm going to check to see some things that I did not see. I'm going to click on it. But we definitely talked about a lot. So hard watching her speak. I think her and Kamala took the same public speaking class, bro. Both of them together, I just wouldn't want to be in the same room with them. If they both had to lecture me on something, oh my gosh, take me. I can't do it. However, if it ever came down to one or the other, I'm voting for Kamala. I thought Kamala was bad. Erika Franz is terrible. Sorry, I'm reading comments. So I can click on one. She just talks. She is lying. I agree. He wasn't murdered for preaching the gospel. And she definitely doesn't preach herself. EF has said before, her and CK would get threats, but was never afraid. And yes, she didn't show up for the other day. Yeah, I mean, count it all joy. Count it all joy. See, count it all joy is dang near the same as when Kamala said, I'm unburdened. What'd she say? I'm unburdened by what has been, or some BS. Like, what is you talking about? You literally sit there and you lose, like, your IQ drops by trying to comprehend what the freak you just said. What are you talking about? Her, oh my gosh, man. Her and Erica and Kamala together is just, man, they would do a lot. But yes, I agree. She has been preaching that she's not afraid of anything. She said that in one of the interviews with Fox, saying, you know, what am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Going to heaven sooner? Who says that? What? I can be afraid of things. That doesn't mean that I like walk in fear. But like if I went downtown at right now, I can be afraid that, you know, I might be walking into a little bit of danger. Anytime after 10 o'clock is just a little danger outside, right? It doesn't mean I'm walking in fear. I'm just using my common sense that there's a lot of things going on in the world. But that was something that she said. What do you think I'm afraid of? Getting to heaven sooner? What? That is the weirdest thing to say. That's the weirdest thing to say. But yeah, she said that the Lord protects her. She's not afraid of nothing. But clearly she's afraid of something. And I think it might be ticket sales. I don't think it's anything else. Ticket sales and crowd size. You're 100% correct. These are wolves in sheep's clothing. They are. It's kind of, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say scary, but I think it's something that we need to pay attention to as society. We need to pay attention to this thing happening in live time. You know, what's happening right now is something that we like heard of. I mean, you know, everybody's different ages and stuff like that. But for me personally, I've never in my lifetime seen something like this happen. You know, JFK, you hear about it, all that other stuff, but watching this unfold in live time is just something I did not have on my bingo card. But watching these people weaponize religion, watching these people pretend to be pastors, it's interesting. It's interesting. Ma'am, your husband was not murdered for preaching the gospel. He was a political debater, not an evangelist. Oh, I think I did read that earlier. Right. That was a blatant lie. He was murdered for preaching the gospel. What? Was he Jesus? What are you talking about? And you know, I'm not starting. I actually knew that. But Erika portrays Charlie as Jesus a lot, whether she knows it or not. And I think she knows. I don't believe in coincidences. Like, she intentionally does it. One slip up, okay, but she does it in a lot of things. She does it like when she said in that Zoom call that Charlie's with you to her employees. I hope not. That's weird. Your dead husband is in the room with me right now, and I just got hired last week, and I just mopped the bathrooms. Why would I want that to happen to me? That doesn't sound pleasing. What do you mean Charlie's with me? She said that with when she was on the Charlie Kirk show too, with Blake Neff and Andrew Covett and Mikey McCoy. She was like, Charlie's in each and every one of you. No, he's not. Stop saying that. He's not. He was a great guy. Well, that's a conversation for another day. He had great intention most of the time. I think he knew a lot of what was going on in TPUSA, but I think he didn't know that it was getting out of control. So that's a conversation for another day, though. But telling people that Charlie's in you and Charlie's watching you. Charlie will help you through the situation. I'm like, lady, that can be for you, but do not tell your employees and your colleagues that Charlie is watching you, in you, walking with you. That sounds very weird, and it sounds like something Jesus would do. Sorry, not Charlie. So that's just odd. Let's see. Not once has she addressed the accusations of her being a part of a CK unaliving. She has performed as a grieving widow. Her actions speak differently. All of TPUSA. I mean, I think their silence is loud. I don't think they'll ever admit, I don't think they'll ever admit it. I don't think they'll ever come out and say the things that we want to hear. Like, oh, I actually was involved in CK, my husband's death. I actually did do this. I actually was at Fort Huachuca. They'll never do that. And it's so tricky because, if they out themselves, then that would ultimately out the feds too. That would out this administration. So really the question is like, do we see all of those people coming out and saying sorry for gaslighting us for months? No. I mean, we should be watching that with the e-files right now, right? There's a lot of people on it, and those same people's a lot of people that are in the files were literally saying they didn't exist not too long ago. Cash Patel was one of the people that was protecting the files, and he said, "No, I've never. There's no files. What are you talking about? That's a hoax." And now it's real, and none of them are coming out saying y'all were right. That y'all were right. We were wrong. We were hiding it for because of X, Y, and Z. No, they didn't do that. They just moved on like nothing happened. Weirdest thing ever, but it's the same thing with Turning Point. None of them are ever going to come out. None of them are ever going to come out and apologize about anything or admit their wrongdoings. It's not an option. It's a decision. It's the same thing. Brandon, she be saying some dumb stuff, man. I don't know who told her to be a public speaker. I don't know who. I feel like she writes her own script or notes, whatever you want to call it. I feel like she writes that because that sounds like her. Because it's that bad. And it seems like nobody proofreads it to be like, okay, like, lady, this is not what you need to say on stage. This is terrible. It seems like she's probably so full of herself that she feels like she can do it because she's been dreaming to be in this moment. And she writes her whole thing out and it sounds dumb. And it does. So I feel like she's the one that be saying dumb stuff like that. Her Let's Make Heaven Crowded tour, her Let's Make Heaven Crowded are supposed to be at the church I go to here in Vegas. Part of me does not want to go. Then I want to just to hear what she will be talking about. I'll be honest. If you're gonna go just to get the scoop, just to see how dumb it is, I'd do that. Like if I ain't really got nothing else to do, I would for sure go just to get information, not necessarily supporting. So I mean, if you ain't got nothing to do, I would go, man. Just to, it depends on who you are though. If you somebody into content, oh yeah, for sure. But if you're somebody that's like, I'm just bored, I was gonna go check it out. I mean, I don't know. That would sound like a waste of time to me. I trash Kamala, but I'd still vote for her over Erika. That's a fact. She's talking about her own self. Yes, we know that you don't believe what you're reading. For real. Seems they're campaigning. Did you see AK and Blake Neff face when they were told the Tyler Robinson trial might not start to 2028? That might affect the election. EF must be upset. I did not see that. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll try to find some more of it later. I don't see anything yet. Don't hate on Candace. She's keeping this alive in the mainstream. Without Candace, we'd all be tricked again. Yeah, I'm definitely not hating on Candace. Candace is the queen of all of this. I've been following Candace since 2018, 19. So I'll never hate on Candace for anything. I love her. She definitely she has a supporter out of me for sure. JD never toured with CK. Why EF? That's an interesting thing you said, because I also noticed how many, political figures have been involved in Turning Point since Charlie. Trump didn't get on that often. JD Vance didn't get on that often. So, yeah, I think it is a valid point. But, I also think that we know that Turning Point USA has been infiltrated. So, not surprised. Let's see. If this was an act of the left, he would be seeking truth. Can't understand why he's protecting her. He was friends with CEO. He was fake too. And yeah. Absolutely agree. Count it all joy. Oh my gosh. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Yeah, we did talk about Brandon Tatum earlier, and I cannot pull off that Coach Colin accent. That dude does it perfectly. I don't know how you do it. Mountain of evidence. That is funny. The fact that the vice president can't draw a crowd is crazy. I agree. They have bigger problems to worry about versus trying to link up with Erika Kirk. I also said that. I'm like, bro, sure, throw Candace in there if you want to say that's why she's getting death threats. It's obviously it was fake and staged. But what does that have to do with the ticket attendance? I mean, the attendance, the ticket sales. What does that have to do with that? But Andrew Kovac came out with the excuse that the left bought all the tickets and chose not to show up. Okay. Not many TikToks anymore, but I love that you started this channel. Yeah, I slowed down on the TikToks. Not I mean, a little bit. I still try to do like 1 or 2 a day, but TikTok is very weird right now because you're dealing with a lot of censorship stuff on TikTok. So sometimes I don't post because I'm like, if you're intentionally shadow banning me and you're intentionally not pushing videos out, I don't want to post anything. Because some people have, it's never been about the money. It's never been about any of that. I remember the days when I used to only have like 20 views. So it's never been about that. I used to have the mindset of, if you put 20 people in front of me and I share my opinion, that's a lot of people. So I've never cared about the views. It's the principle though of knowing that they're intentionally suppressing views. That's when I'm like, okay, bro. Like, let's just be completely honest here. The amount of followers and supporters that's on TikTok, and you're telling me I'm fighting to get 300 views, bro, you're intentionally messing with me. So that's when I don't like to post, because I'm like, well, what are we doing? Miss Shalami only appears when the stands are full. They know most people just read a headline. They are doing the numbers game. 90% read the titles. Mainstream gets government money. They continue to control the narrative. Yep. That is a well put statement, sentence, whatever you want to call it. That was well put. I absolutely agree with you. They paid the same Shapiro audience to show up and they didn't. It's getting rough for them. Weird, because she pays people in the hype crew and files them in, flies them in to see her speak. She's cheating basically, so she's not scared of that, but she'll get paid for her speeches. She's unbelievable. She is. The amount of money they put into people that they, are showing up to their own events is crazy. Even during the Q&As, they're having staged Q&As. I mean, it's a bad situation. Super sus, false flag incoming. I'm telling y'all out there, Erika is not going out like that. The feds, the administration, they're going to do whatever they can to secure that Erika's the victim title. No, I think her mom is going to pass away, which will make her extremely wealthy. But once she passes away, she becomes a victim again, in my opinion. That is another great theory. I can 100% see that as well. So thank you for bringing that up. I didn't even think about her mom. So yes, that is another way that they can manipulate, for sure. Because now it's her mom just died, so don't make fun of her and blah blah. And it's like, bro, but just get off my screen. If your mom died, and just go away for a while. Somehow she's still gonna be on the screen every single day, and it's gonna be, it's because I'm so strong in my faith that I can be up here and still preach the gospel. Like, it's like, come on, bro, you don't have to do all that. The sad part is that those videos of her before Charlie actually show a nice, likable girl, somewhat cringe, but still manageable. This fake public persona is just disgusting, annoying. I agree. I think even if she was assigned to Charlie, or Charlie was assigned to her, and everything was fake from the beginning, she did a pretty good job acting, because they did look happy. They definitely looked happy. She definitely seemed like she was normal. Her period of grace is over. On her last Red Wall speech, check closely after speaking about Charlie. She pauses, looks down, and smiles. She's happy as hell. I got to go back and see. But Yeah, her period of grace is over. Nobody is going for it anymore. Love the show. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Yap away. Nah, we chilling. We love it. I appreciate y'all. I really do thank y'all for allowing me to be myself on here, because I definitely never feel pressured to do anything different. I love the fact that y'all love the way, outside of me it being very late. But thank y'all for allowing me to be myself. Twins. It's annoying, ain't it? It's so annoying. Haven't seen graffiti on the church, right? Word Salad University. I feel sorry only because Charlie made he real. Do not like her admonishment to pastors. Yes, her advice to pastors was great. Your lives always this late. Happen to log on. Glad to catch you. Yeah, we've been pretty consistent with between like a 10 and 10:30 time frame. At least 3 to 4 times. I think last week we did. Oh no, I was on vacation. I think the week before that, I think we did like 3 or 4. I think we did 4. But I try to get minimum in 3. I know folks was on a Black Line Brief last night talking about, man, Jay only go live once a week. Don't do me like that now. Don't do me like that. I don't go live once a week. I go live at least 3 times a week. I got a different schedule than everybody else, right? I'm not a full-time podcaster yet. I'm not a full-time any of that yet. I got normal life. I got work in the morning just like everybody else. And then on top of that, I got a 3-year-old. So I can't get on live all extra early like people be doing at 5, 6 o'clock. No, I'm still chasing that little dude around. I'm still chasing him around until he go to sleep. Then when he go to sleep, that's when I finally get to get everything out and finally get my stuff going. So that's why I'm always between 10 and 10:30. 10 and 10:30. Where's the glitter church sparklers? Coconut tree. She tries to look sad. Yeah. The leaked video call was icky. Was she the one who sent Trump the Jesus meme? I feel like, I'm starting to believe Laura Loomer is behind Trump's Twitter and what is it called? Truth Social. Because I don't know who be texting for Trump or tweeting for Trump. It be sounding crazy. Listen here, no hiccups yet. I've been drinking out of a straw ever since, and it's been helping me. No hiccups today, but for the ones that don't know, yeah, I had hiccups for like 3 or 4 hours. No, 3 hours before the live, and then an hour and a half after the live. And I stayed on live because people thought I was lying on how long my hiccups last. Yeah, it took an hour and a half after live, so it was a total about 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours of hiccups. Crazy thing is, she's completely oblivious, and I mean that to the fact that everybody hates her, and she's so weird, and she thinks she's relatable, but she's absolutely not. I completely agree. Completely agree. But, she's playing her role. Whoever is controlling her is making her go through this for some reason, because she doesn't have to. Nobody likes her, but you also don't have to put yourself in front of everybody. Just go to an island. You have millions of dollars in the bank. Just go to an island with your kids. We won't see you for a while. Just go ahead, head out. Awkward how someone as smart as Charlie could fall in love with a woman so dumb. Well, that could happen to anybody. So we just can't forget that Charlie was human. So he obviously was a genius and he was smart at a lot of things, but I think he lacked a lot of experience when it came to women and relationships and all that. So it could happen to anybody. We've all been manipulated by the wrong man or woman. And I wouldn't say any of us are dumb. I feel like we're all smart, but we've all been through that before and we had to learn. And I think Charlie, you know, he only had like one girl before Erika. So I would probably say he was very inexperienced. And then he's meeting an Erika that's half naked all over the internet because of Miss Arizona that has all of these athletes on her roster. So yeah, he was stepping into the lion's den for sure. And he thought he hit the jackpot. So happens though. How about saying if he had a chance to come back, he wouldn't, and she's not worthy of even being questioned? I know. She said some very questionable things. There's a special place in hell for those who use God's name for profit. Yup. They are doing it. Is JD separated from his wife? I'm not sure. I don't think so. What I'd like to know is how can a Christian organization want the death penalty and have Blake Neff fronting the Charlie Kirk show when he's a racist? Great question. I have no idea. But I also think it's because they aren't a Christian organization anymore. Maybe they used to be, but they definitely aren't. Because you can't say you forgive Tyler Robinson, but you're pushing for him to die. Andrew Kovac said out of his own mouth that if Tyler Robinson doesn't get the death penalty, he's going to be upset. Weird. You're pushing for the death penalty, but you are holding on to the evidence and not handing it over to the defense team. Because if this was an open and shut case, then you should be as transparent as possible and say, yeah, look at everything we got. Your client is cooked. But they're not doing that. They're hiding all the evidence. They're hiding everything. But at the same time, pushing for the death penalty. That's sick. Why doesn't she just get a YouTube show where she discusses pop culture, not religion? It's obvious that's not into that. That's why no one likes her. Man, if she got a YouTube page, that would be hilarious. Her comment section would be crazy. Yeah, for real. Call her Miss France Faye. That would be hilarious. Please call her Miss France Faye if you have to ask her a question. I feel so bad for Charlie. Candace is the only true friend and he knew it. Yep. I agree, but he realized it too late. It's manipulative. Yep. Watching on TikTok live too. Yeah, let's get it. Candace is a good investigator, but also a con woman, as she and Charlie broke the not-for-profit guidelines by supporting Trump while they made money. Charlie was worried that he would be jailed for break. Yeah, I mean, I agreed. I think both of them at one point was in over their heads. Candace branched off. Charlie kept on doing it. But yeah, it was definitely not a good situation. And I do remember Charlie saying that if the Democrats were to get elected, that he would be put in jail for the rest of his life. Why would you say that? Very, very weird thing to say. But I think that he ultimately compromised his integrity that he stood on, his foundation that he built Turn Point USA on. And he compromised it for access to the White House and access to the administration. And I think it changed him forever. He never was the same. Do you know if we can abolish a destructive government? If so, why we don't? It's so tricky. That's something that we think of, that I think of all the time, of like, what do we do? Especially knowing with this Charlie Kirk investigation, knowing that the feds are involved, knowing that it's a cover-up. What do we do? But, you know, I think all we can do is continue to ask questions. I think Charlie Kirk said that, you know, keep asking questions, because what do you say? Keep on asking questions because it keeps you free, or something like that. So I think we're on the right path as society today. And it's pretty much like, if you're going to say something, you need to come with proof. We don't believe things at face value anymore. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because now people have to prove to you what they're saying, show you articles, show you sources, instead of just trying to program us. So I think we're headed in the right direction, even though it may feel very slow and it might not feel like we're gaining progress, but I think we are. I think the truth will come out eventually. We love you at the Black Line Brief, Jay. On the way. Man, I'm excited too. I'm excited. Talking to Matt, and we will come out with some details very soon, once we can figure out a time and a day and all that stuff. So it's in the works. It's in the works to collab with Black Line Brief. And I'm extremely excited again. Great guy. Love his content. Thanks to y'all. Y'all put me onto his content, and I love his content. So we will be chopping it up very soon. Very soon. Everyone loves you over the Black Line. I'm glad. That makes me very happy and excited to know that, you know, that's a thing. Because I had no idea. I watch this show, but sometimes I forget to even click the live chat. So that's great. I can't do nothing but appreciate y'all for showing love to both sides. To you is for real. Oh snap! There he is, the man of the hour. Welcome in, brother. I told everybody already. It's my bad that I have not responded to your DM. Not the very first one. We've been talking, but the scheduling DM I haven't responded to, because I completely forgot. So I took the blame for that. That's on me. Got a little busy chasing a 3-year-old and then trying to keep all the platforms happy. So that's on me. I got to get used to putting X in my rotation. I definitely be forgetting all about X. Did anyone know how the FBI get Tyler Robinson gun if he didn't pow him? I don't understand that part. If he turned himself in. Well, hold on. Do anyone know how the FBI got? Well, he dropped the gun in the woods on the way to the car when he was running from the scene. So that's how they got the gun, you know, according to the court documents. He jumped off, you know, he pew, whatever you want to call it, and then jumped off the roof with no injury, because that seemed like a very hard fall, but apparently it didn't hurt him. He ran across the parking lot, ran into the woods. For some reason, he dropped the gun before he got in his car that was literally right there. Makes no sense for somebody that was trying to get away with it. And yeah, so cops pull up, bomb dogs, K9s, whatever you want to call it. All dogs were dispatched, and they could not find the recently fired rifle, which is that's literally impossible. You would smell the gunpowder. You would smell so many different things on a recently fired rifle. I don't know if y'all ever like shot a gun before, but like your hands smell and all that stuff afterwards. And dogs have way better senses than us. The dogs missed it. and then somehow FBI shows up and, oh, there it is, right in the spots that the dogs missed. So that's how that went. All we could do is expose the corruption and never let this go. Absolutely. Keep asking questions because it's the only thing that keeps you free. There it is. There's that Charlie Kirk quote. Well, we need to figure something out before all of our RTs. Man, I'm not good at stuff like this. All of our RTs. All of our RTs. Man, where's Wheel of Fortune when you need it? Right. Gotcha. It's 12:45 in the morning. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean we're on our way. We're hopefully it feels like it. Sometimes it could be very it could suck. It could feel like we're not getting anywhere. It could feel like the censorship is going up. They're trying to suppress us in many different ways. They're trying to silence us. They're trying to, take our free speech away in other ways outside of just being like, it's illegal to say this. Instead, they force us to talk about certain things on apps. And if you talk about the wrong things, they just take your videos down, or they purposefully mess with it to make sure it doesn't get any views. So I agree. I go through these things every single day, and it is annoying, but I don't think we should stop at all. We should keep going. I think that they know that we're on to them with the e-files. I think we should keep our foot on the gas. I think with these midterms, we should stand strong, and people should not vote until we get people in office that care about the people, that care about us. Trump campaigned on certain things. He lied. Simple as that. So anybody that used to support him should open their eyes and realize you lied. That's it. Nothing personal, kind of personal, but you lied. It is personal because you have people go out there and vote for things that you campaigned on. And now you're gaslighting everybody as if you never campaigned on that. And now they should just automatically agree with what you're doing right now. They don't have to agree with you with 100% of what you do. So I think we should continue to stay woke, but in the right context this time, not like the woke left or the woke right. But we should continue to stand firm on that. We should continue to say, man, we ain't voting for nobody as far as like the presidential election until we get somebody that's for the citizens. Charlie Kirk should have everybody pissed off when it comes to voting because essentially our administration allowed, there's a lot of different entities when it comes to what happened with Charlie Kirk, I believe, in my opinion, but our administration allowed foreign involvement. So that's basically saying, hey, if you a foreign country and you want to take out one of our citizens for some type of political gain, we'll let you do it. That's what our administration essentially did with Charlie Kirk. That should piss off a lot of people. You talking about a war with Iran? That should have started a war with somebody. If another country is able to take out one of your citizens, that's when a war should start. But we should stand firm on things like that because I don't plan on voting at all until I don't know. Someone has to prove to me that they are truly America first. They're the citizens first. They're not taking AIPAC money. A lot of things have to happen for me to get out there and vote for somebody ever again. When these people drop, evidence, or when they try to make claims about things, when they don't make sense, the whole internet need to be on their head. The public eye is it's in a beautiful place right now because the government knows that we don't trust them anymore. So moving forward, they have no choice but to bring proof, bring evidence, or just look crazy. Because if you don't bring the proof, you don't bring the evidence, the whole world's going to know you're a liar. And sometimes they're okay with that, and then they just stay silent, but then their silence is loud. They mess with the wrong generation, is what I'm getting at. They mess with the wrong generation. Did Cash grab step down? I heard Cash was in a hot seat, but it was just the article. I didn't hear anything about him stepping down, though. In my opinion, the FBI and Lance Twiggs had access to Tyler Robinson's apartment, had the opportunity to grab a towel, screwdriver, rifle to plant that scene. That's actually an interesting theory. I didn't think about it that way. However, I do agree with the part of Lance Twiggs being heavily involved. I do agree with that. I got to think some more on the second half of the theory, but I do agree that Lance Twiggs is heavily involved. I thought everything around Lance Twiggs was very strange. Somebody that clearly was an accomplice or an accessory, just affiliated with Tyler Robinson, and they let him off so quick as a suspect. They put him in witness protection or protective custody, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, for what? Nobody was after him, right? Tyler Robinson is the lone wolf. So if that's the case, then let's just use our common sense. If he was the lone wolf and nobody knew that he was going to do something like this, then that would mean Lance is somewhat of a victim, because he's like, my boyfriend went crazy, right? He should be relating with everybody else that is portraying Tyler Robinson to be this crazy, monstrous criminal. So why would anybody want to harm Tyler Robinson if he's playing the role of my boyfriend went crazy? So Tyler Robinson was absolutely, in my opinion, heavily involved in this. I think based on the 911 calls that we heard from several different platforms of people being like, the suspect is, the police monitors are saying the suspect has shoulder length hair and stuff like that. That's Tyler Robinson. I mean, that's Lance Twiggs. I think Lance Twiggs, in my opinion, is more capable of pulling something off like this than Tyler Robinson. Lance Twiggs look crazy. But I think Lance Twiggs is an informant, man. I think he was already in some trouble, and he works for the government. He works for the feds, and yeah. So I agree though, man. Lance Twiggs is definitely heavily involved, and I'm interested into figuring out some more deep dives into Lance Twiggs to see what we can find. Look, y'all knew already. Y'all already knew it was gonna be right. So that's crazy. Too busy managing his country singing star. But he never fired a shot that was someone else if he didn't have gunpowder residue on his hands. I'm lost with this story. Yeah, I mean, you're on point as far as what we believe actually happened, which is that it didn't happen. Because if it did, it would be much easier to provide that evidence and show the public. I don't again, common sense is not so common anymore. If Tyler Robinson was on camera, on video, taking a shot, and you could see his face, and it was actually him, this would be a case, open and shut case, because you can't deny your face being on camera and you're going up there pulling the trigger. Then they would have conducted a gunshot residue test. Then they would have been able to do so many other things that would have tied him to actually pulling the trigger. But they don't do that. Instead, they hyper focus on his clothes that day. They hyper focus on his footprint and palm print and all that. That's because they don't really have much. They're trying. They're doing all these different things, trying to pull it together to try to make the Fed slop not slop, but it's slopping. Because if you actually, because they said that in the hearing the other day, they said there's witnesses spotted Tyler Robinson on the roof and got in his position. And okay, so if that's the case, then release the video. Release that. Don't tell anybody, because why are y'all going through hell, right? Turning Point USA, Erika, all of them. Why are they choosing to go through what they're going through if you have the evidence to dead all of that? You have the evidence to dead all of that. But they don't. That's why anytime something happens, they try to get the public back. Oh no, like it's because it is, it's because of that. And it's like, bro, stop. Why are you trying to prove that my findings are wrong if you're so confident that it's a slam dunk case? Why won't they release the detailed autopsy, not the summary? Why won't they release the detailed autopsy? If they're so confident that if you threw out 90% of the evidence, then they still would be able to convict Tyler Robinson. Okay, so if that's the case, how about you release 90% of the evidence to the public and let us see for ourselves? Because I feel like we only received 5 to 10% of the evidence, and it's complete BS. And then when it's complete BS, then they come out and say, well, that's because y'all haven't seen it all. There's more to come. I thought 90% could be thrown out. So if this is the 10%, this is trash. But you're on the right page though. I don't think he didn't have gunpowder residue on him. They didn't conduct a gunshot residue test. It definitely was somebody else up on that roof. I'm convinced that it was Lance Twiggs or another person, but Lance Twiggs at the minimum. But it wasn't Tyler Robinson. It was Lance Twiggs, or it was some other military operation type of thing going on. But Tyler Robinson, it just doesn't make sense that it was him. Too many things happened after the Big Bang that just doesn't line up. Like him going to a car wash, him going to the plaza, or him going to the plaza first and driving around for a little bit, parking, putting in the GPS to go to a car wash. Come on, man. Nobody's acting like that after doing what he did. Him hanging around Provo all day, texting whatever his name is, texting Lance, right? Texting Lance, all of these weird messages, and I don't know, just incriminating himself. Like, no, it just doesn't make any sense at all. We need to form a group and research about abolishing government, because this is out of hand. I don't want to see what's next, but we have to do it as a collective. I agree. I mean, that's the only way. That's why I say it's us versus them. It's us versus them. You need a Q&A where we can brainstorm together, figure out some things. I'm sure we can definitely come up with something like that one day. Because you are right. These are important things that we need to discuss. The only vote I could picture myself making anytime soon is against Victor Marks for Colorado governor, for real. I got to finish watching that Candace Owens interview with that guy that's talking about Victor Marks. But yeah, that guy's weird. Can't wait for the good Lord, as Erika puts it, to shine his light on truth, for real. My money is on Lance Twiggs being a Fed. I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So from the beginning of CK Unalive, we're going off the stories that the FBI is stating he did something. Lance set him up. Yes. The only thing we have is what the FBI is telling us. That's like the story of our lives, right? All the things that have happened in our history is just based on what they told us happened. We don't really know. When we start to actually research, it's not what actually happened. That's what's happening right now with CK, is that the only thing we have is what the FBI wants us to know. But what they want us to know doesn't even make any sense. But then they gaslight us and say it does make sense. You're just a crazy conspiracy theorist and all this stuff. But it's like, no, it doesn't make sense. The text messages don't make any sense. You know, it's a reason why you don't have any timestamps on your text messages. All it says is they were sent in that day, but there's no confirmed, you know, verified text messages, screenshots that we can read. They're just made up by the feds, in my opinion. You're not even convinced that Twigs exists at this point. I mean, he's an interesting individual. Even when they tried to pretend like he was texting Tyler Robinson, he was weird, talking about some, hey, what should I tell my parents so I can leave the house to come see you? This is after Tyler Robinson did the Big Bang, right? Allegedly or whatever. What can I do to leave my parents' house? I thought y'all lived together. Why are you asking your mom for permission? Ain't you a grown man? You need permission from your mom to go home? And Tyler Robinson was like, I don't know what to say. And then Lance said, you know what I'm gonna tell her? I gotta switch the laundry over. What I look like, bro? These people, the feds are stupid. There's nobody in this world that's talking like that. And would ever come to that conclusion that they need this elaborate story to go home. And the elaborate story is changing the laundry, switching the laundry. Blake Neff, Andrew Kovic, and Zach Castillo show yesterday. Turning Point USA panic over CK case. Oh, okay. 38-11 mark. Okay. I'll watch it. Looking at CK unalive, what do you believe unalived him at first glance? For me, I always thought it was something under his shirt, while others don't see it and how his team moving. First glance, I think that it was something under his shirt. I think that was the primary source or the main source. And then I do think other things happened as well to confirm that they got Charlie and took him out. I don't think the microphone was by itself. But yeah, I do think that. Excuse me. I do think the microphone and whatever under his shirt that made his shirt go into a big bubble, something definitely happened. I know his lawyer. I know his lawyers are not doing the best because they know what to do when evidence is not getting to them and judge not enforcing law. Yeah. I don't know. Lawyers are in an interesting place, especially after listening to that Elizabeth Lane interview, because apparently, you know, the lawyers knew that the prosecution team was going to do this. So why aren't they prepared? I don't know. My love. My love. I'm waiting for, what Tyler say? My love, I'm waiting to go get my rifle, but there's a car lingering. I was like, what? Talk to a panel of people. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot to set up for sure. I can't confirm any times or dates, but we definitely got a lot of things that need to happen for sure. I agree. Is my wife interested in this case at all? No, she's not. I mean, you know, it should be like, dang, that's crazy, but like that's about it. I think that's like, I wouldn't say everybody, but I think a lot of people, you know, especially on my TikTok, a lot of people come to that platform, come to my page, because I think it's kind of like the same situation for everybody. They're like, bro, I have nobody to talk to about this, you know, and I'm like, shoot, me either. Why do you think I make these videos? Like, why you think I make these videos? Why do you think I'll be making so many videos? I got so many thoughts that I can't get off to anybody. So I go to TikTok. And so TikTok and now YouTube is like my huge group chat of people that make me feel sane because I get to finally talk to y'all and be like, bro, that was crazy. Could you believe Erika did this and that? You know what I mean? I haven't met one person in real life that I could like literally sit down and be like, bro, did you see that? Erika did this, and then Andrew Kovac did this, and then I haven't met a single person in real life out of like the people that I already know that are into this. It's the craziest thing ever. Glenn, my love. Think of me while I'm in jail. Move on with your life. That's hilarious. Y'all are cracking me up. I must obtain thy blizzard from ye. Bro, this is so funny. Not gonna lie, bro. I wish I was in the same space as her. I wish I wasn't as interested in this. Yeah, I mean, you I think it goes. That's a tough one. Because I can see that perspective. I can see the like, man, I wish I never knew all of this stuff because it really does. Like, it kind of pisses you off some days. Some days you're kind of emotional about it. Some days you're like, I can't believe our government would do something like this. Some days, you go back and forth on so many different things. So I can understand the perspective of like, I wish I never knew any of this. I can see that. I just think it depends on who you are. It depends on who you are and how you view like your perspective and views on a lot of things. Because me personally, I like to know anything and everything about everybody. Not in like a nosy gossip way. More so like, what is my government willing to do to keep the people under control? What are they willing to do to shut us up? How far will they take it? I'm interested in all of those things, and I never get tired of it. So like with this situation with Charlie Kirk, I never get tired of it because I'm just like, dang, bro, like he was at one point in time a normal guy. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, this is somebody that was going to run for president one day. And look how that turned out. So, I immediately go into the mindset of like, okay, so I clearly don't want to get into politics because I'm if I say the wrong thing or I'm going to have to sign a deal with the devil one way or another. So I'm just interested in all of those things. When Joe Kent came out and said that he was blocked by the FBI from doing his job, those are things that interest me because it just keeps me updated and it keeps me aware that it's us versus them and that my government is against me. My administration is against me, against us. The things that they're willing to do to silence us. I want to know. I want to know so that way I can adapt. And I'm also into like to be a content creator, to be on, YouTube podcasts. You kind of got to be hip on everything that's going on. So I kind of got to be on my phone to a fault to make sure that I'm up to date on everything. But I'm also like that in like as a regular person anyway. I got to know what's going on. Same way with TikTok. When TikTok first sold over from China to America, like I who am I to say like, man, I don't even care about all of that stuff. I had to get down to the bottom of it because they changed our money. They changed the money. Money used to be crazy. And they changed it like crazy. So then I had to get down to the bottom of like, why would they change it? What's the purpose of that? Americans was getting paid. Americans didn't have to work a 9 to 5 no more if they platform was popping enough. TikTok was paying a lot. So I couldn't sit back and just say like, man, I wish I didn't know their intentions on why they were switching TikTok over. Because I could have just said, oh well. But then when I found out their intentions on why they were switching TikTok over, and I found out that they honestly don't want us to not be in a 9 to 5. They want us working a 9 to 5 so they can have control over everything. And when they found out that the average Joe in America, all he has to do is make some cool TikToks and he can make more money than a 9 to 5, they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that we can communicate with everybody across the world and talk to each other about what's going on. They didn't like that. So I had to figure out all of that. So, you know, again, I said that to say with this Charlie Kirk investigation, I'm interested in how far our government is willing to go when it comes to protecting their own citizens, when it comes to how broken our, justice system is, all of that stuff. But again, that's just what I'm into, though. Your husband was watching WrestleMania, and I said, "Is that Erika Kirk?" He didn't know what I was talking about. Ain't it the craziest thing ever when somebody's just like, "Man, who's that?" It's like, what? That's the part of people being like, "Man, I don't know if I'm jealous of you or what for the fact that you don't know anything that's going on." The camera that was in the back of CK wasn't turned in. I know that view would say a lot. Absolutely. They're hiding a lot. That camera angle, the two cameras that was in front of Charlie would show a lot. It's for real. The red pill or blue pill sitch. I'll take red pill every day. I need to know the truth no matter what. Yeah, I'm the same way. I got to know the truth. I wasn't that committed to the investigation until I saw CO's passion for the truth. She really gave insight into Charlie, the person, not the political celebrity. Yes, that was another thing, man. Just seeing, I don't know. I can personally relate on so many different levels. So that's why I'm invested, because one, I'm already somebody that's into the crime mysteries and all that stuff. First 48, the Law and Orders. I'm interested into all of that anyway. But on the regular level, though, like, the perspective of a husband, the perspective of a father, the perspective of a best friend, the perspective of a brother. Like, if I lost my person in that way, then I would be acting like Candace. Personally, everybody got their own, ways on how they handle stuff. But personally, I would be acting like Candace. So, I already been following Candace since 2018-19. So I knew what time she was on once she started coming out about stuff. But once I started seeing what she was saying, I was like, yeah, I'm on that same feeling. I'm on that same type time. So once I seen that, I was like, man, you don't see that. You don't see that in the political space. You don't see that on the internet where people with large platforms use it in the way Candace is using it. Because the way she's using it is how I would use it if I had a platform like that. So it's like CEO made it personal for me. Now I want the truth and justice with CK and EK to get what's coming. Yeah, absolutely. They want us working till we die and in 50-year mortgages. Right. Crazy. They don't want us. They want to separate, and they're already doing it. They're separating the middle class from the upper class. And they want to increase the gap. That way, there's no longer going to be middle class. It's just going to be a lower class and upper class. They want to keep us poor. They want to keep us struggling. They want to keep us depending on a 9 to 5. The thought of the lower class not depending on a 9 to 5 loses their mind, because that's how they make money. So they had to come sweep right in and take away TikTok and how they was paying, because they said it's no way you got creators out here making 5 to 10 bands a month, probably more than that, 10 15 bands a month on TikTok videos, and you telling me they don't have to go to work no more or work a 9 to 5, they just do content? No, we can't have that. We need them to depend on a 9 to 5, and we need to pay them just enough to where they can live, but not enough to stop working. And it's just a hamster wheel. It's a forever going cycle. That's exactly where they want us. If anything ever happens to me, tell Candace to please look into it. Facts. That is a fact. Appreciate the donation. Thank you very much for supporting the show. I believe EK was a handler. EK was CK's handler. She always a true friend, regardless of what people think. CK also wants her to stop. Because it's dangerous for her and her family. That's what Elizabeth April said. Remote view she did. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think Erika was CK's handler. Yeah, I do agree with you. Where all the government's prostitutes bending over and taking it harder and harder. Listen, I guess I agree with you. I guess. But yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. But we got to keep fighting. We can't stop. We got to keep going, and we're making noise. We're in a place now where we have a lot of leverage as the public, because now a lot of people are fighting for us to be on their side. So we don't need to stop. We have them backpedaling. We have them doing damage control. TBUSA never used to do the damage control that they're doing now. They used to just stay silent or say something on X. Now they're going on Fox News. So we're getting close. I know it probably sounds cliche because we've been saying it for a long time, but it truly is. We can see them crumbling. So we just got to keep on staying the course. But I appreciate y'all for watching this show. We about to hit the 3-hour mark, and I appreciate y'all that have watched from 10:15 all the way to now. We will be on live again sometime. What's tomorrow? Friday, maybe Saturday or Sunday. One of them. We'll be on live again for sure before the next week. But make sure you hit the like button before you go. I don't know where it's at right now, but let's bump it up a little bit more at least. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the sub button. We're on the road to 21K, and I appreciate the support along the way. And I hope y'all have a great night, a beautiful night. And if you are on the East Coast, make sure you pop an energy drink in the morning, because it's gonna be a long day. But y'all have a good night.